told us about Newcastle, Mark O'Hare. They played for 45 minutes and then down tools.
Yeah, we are at that stage now, and I think there are a few teams in the mid-table who you could probably put into that bracket. Obviously, last week was a decent opportunity to have a look at those teams and consider whether they were on the beach. I'm not sure Newcastle are just quite there yet, and I think Burnley's result in midweek against Everton does kind of leave that sort of final relegation berth still lingering and open, and Newcastle still capable of dropping back down there. And I hear Eddie Howe talking on Wednesday and suggesting that his team are definitely not on the beach and definitely still focused on, as he would say, in public. But
of course,
yeah, I think the first half at Spurs was evidence enough for me to suggest that they weren't yet signed off. And I think the second half obviously was a complete disappointment. But Spurs were very good and cut them into shreds really. So, but yeah, there are a few teams who we will talk about who I think definitely have already clicked off and are booking their holidays already. So yeah, that's one to watch in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, Stinch, any chance that you could have turned up for the previous 30 weeks? Last week you gave us winners after winners, and also you gave us the parlay at plus 160, 165.
Yeah, so I'm going back on the beach now. Is that right?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Put your towel down early if you don't mind.
I mean, I would like to think it was a good week because the bets were good, not because I was lucky. I feel I've been unlucky a few times this season, and but the season's not over. And
no, it's not. No,
plenty of time to go, and also I think some of our long-term bets are looking quite good as well. So got those to fall back on as well come the end of the season.
Okay, well, we've got 6 games, remember. Get yourselves in the chat. That's your home. You want something, say you want to pass on some information, you've got a banker or a big bet, then make sure you put it in now. Let's go on straight away to the first game. And the first game is a Friday night game. So we've got Newcastle. I believe that they are finished. Maybe they need maybe 1, maybe 3 points out of the final 4 or 5 games. Newcastle versus Wolves. It's Newcastle at plus 130. Far too short for me. Wolves are massive. Plus 250. The under over is 2. Q Stinch because he never goes under the 2. Not in the Premier League. The draw is at plus 215. Mark O'Hare, I'll start with you because the goal line at 2. I mean Newcastle at plus 130 as well. Nothing towards the home side is attractive.
No. I wouldn't be going in Newcastle at those prices. The market's effectively saying they're almost rated as the same, and I can't agree with that at all. Touched on the game against Tottenham last week where they started pretty well, defended diligently, but and got the free kick to put them ahead. But the second half unravelled quite alarmingly, really. And as I say, Burnley's win kind of does increase the pressure again on Newcastle. They've got a 7-point buffer, but I don't think you can say with certainty that they've survived with their current points tally. And I know their previous losses against Everton and Chelsea, they were pretty decent performances. But it's a trend I've picked up on quite recently with Newcastle and their inability to score goals from open play. So they've scored 15 goals in the last 12 Premier League games since Christmas. But they've actually failed to score from open play in the last 5 hours of Premier League football. And 4 of those 15 goals were direct free kicks, which have come more recently this calendar year. So that's just kind of, that's unsustainable really over the long term. And they scored more than once in only 4 of the last 18, which kind of highlights their inability to kind of create clear-cut opportunities. But defensively, they have made improvements. It's just lacking up top. So the majority of their best work has been done against the lesser teams in the Premier League. They've earned just 3 points against the top half. All of those points via draws. So they're winless in 14 against the top 10. They've lost 11 of those. And they're playing a Wolves side that's won 6 of 8 unbeaten trips to the bottom half. And the Wolves side still chasing European qualification too. So, yeah, I like Wolves. No Jimenez and no Neves, which is obviously a blow, but they survived against Villa without them last week. And, if you take out the second half against Leeds, where they collapsed when they were down to 10 men after dominating the first half, they could easily have 4 Premier League wins on the spin coming into this match. So, if I had to sort of side of either team, it would definitely be something pro-Wolves based. But I'm quite happy to sort of pass this one on and allow you two to sort of share whatever analysis and insight you have.
I'm just going to go with Wolves. I'm adding this as well, and I'm adding it for 2 units, to be honest. Look at that, bottom left. Wolves double chance, minus 150. You're going to give me 66% of my money that Wolves don't get beat. Stinch, I'm with Wolves all the way. I don't see Wolves getting beat. Wolves, listen, I can see this being a 0-0, 1-0, something like that. I just want to be with Wolves.
Yeah, the only thing put me off is no Neves and no Jimenez, just because they're the joint top scorers for Wolves. I know they beat Villa last week without them, but I think one of the goals was from a defender, and it's just obviously one game there, which is a very small sample size, obviously. So I just would prefer to have Jimenez and Neves available. But you're right, you could easily see Wolves going there, keeping things tight, trying to nick a goal on the break. And yeah, just because Wolves have got one of the best defences in the league, haven't they? And if Newcastle's main threat is going to be coming from set pieces, arguably that plays into Wolves' hands because it's a lot easier to be organised when the ball's dead rather than when the ball's in play. So yeah, I want to be with Wolves. I sort of dillied and dallied whether I should get involved, and again, I just without Jimenez and Neves is enough to say no. But you're right, nobody's back in Newcastle at these odds, are they? With the amount of players they're missing. No Callum Wilson, no Trippier, who I think are arguably the two best players. I know Sam Maximin's a very good player, but I think he on his own he can't win games by himself. He definitely needs to have players around him. And yeah, that collapse second half away at Spurs last week was very alarming. So yeah, I'm kind of just going back to the well. Really, you could just call these Team A and Team B. As it's not Burnley involved, I'm happy to chance over 2 goals. Did the same bet in Wolves last week against Villa, and I think Wolves were 2-0 up after about 35 minutes. Yeah. So they're just hoping for another goal. If not, you're going to get your money back. So just given the fact Premier League still at 2.79 goals per game. So if you were to kind of use that as a blanket odds, you'd be looking at over under 2.5, and the overs would be slight favourite. So the fact, as I say, I would have this line at 2.25 rather than the flat 2. So I think there's enough juice there. I mean, Wolves are still chasing that European spot.
Yeah, they are.
So, and there's arguments they could easily gate crash the top 4 if it all goes awry for the teams involved there. Even Chelsea might tail off. I mean, they've only got a 5-point gap, I think, on Spurs and Arsenal. So still plenty of time to go, plenty of motivation for Wolves. And if Newcastle are on the beach, they will tend to play a lot less engaged, I would say, which kind of lends itself more to goals. I think we all kind of are aware at the end of the season when teams don't have anything to play for that the goal average does go up. So yeah, happy to chance using your insight on Newcastle Flash.
Yeah, listen, I just see that Wolves are going to frustrate Newcastle, and it will be one of those types of games. But listen, there might be a parlay piece that we can add at the end as well, but I'm actually going to make it a banker. Let's have a little look at the official picks because mine was late, so it's nothing to do with the graphics, people. I wanted to see what the final number would be for Wolves and half a goal. So Wolves double chance is at -150. It's gone on there as a banker, and Stinch is going over 2 at -130.